All right, I got some clips here on Greg Brockman, one of the guys behind AI. So, as an observer, afraid of AI, so you go around and you look at the people, because not afraid of the people. So, trying to get to know all the people behind AI, and surprise, surprise, what I'm finding is they're all pretty good, normal people. Greg Brockman, as far as I believe him to be, what I narrowed him down to be is yes, another NTP, INTP, of course, but I think he's a sleep blast. I think he's double feminine. I think he might be social type 4 as well. So, official type, most likely, allegedly at this time. So, look for the double observing. So, if you're trying to study any SI, which I am right now, right, that's my NI. My NI is every day, all day long, I'm trying to figure out the any SI coin or SI any coin. I've been trying to write it out, trying to figure it out. And so, I like to go after whoever has it in the middle, because they're not going to be, they're going to be very casual about it. They're not freaking out about it, right? But sometimes the extremes are funny to get started with, you know what I'm saying? So, let me play this first clip. The first clip I thought was rather interesting because this guy, Alan Turing, way back in like pre, 50s or 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, a long time ago, right? A long time ago. He had hypothesized about AI like way back at the beginning. So some NI head allegedly saw the first computer chip go together, the first circuit to go together, like, 6 months after the light bulb. And then just went, oh shit, AI is going to take over the world someday. There's going to be computers that are smarter than people. Like, isn't that something? I remember growing up, like seeing that in sci-fi movies, but it never, like, yeah, cool, sure, whatever. It never felt real, right? Anyway, so he's reflecting back on that, and he's talking about the extra step that you got to have the machines build the machines. There's these extra steps. Let me play the clip.
Like, I remember reading Alan Turing's 1950 paper on the Turing test,
1950.
and the thing that really stuck out to me, and this was, right after high school, was he said, look, you're never going to program a machine to solve this problem. Instead, you need a machine that can actually learn how to do it. And that, for me, was the aha moment. The idea that you could have a machine that could solve problems that I could not, that no human could figure out how to solve. Like, that so clearly could be so transformational, right? There's all these challenges, global warming, climate, just like medicine for everyone, like all these things that are kind of out of reach.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to do it. But if you could use machines to aid in that process, we want to. And so I think we all kind of felt like, okay, the technology is starting to happen. Deep learning is an overnight success that took 70 years, right? It's like, 2012, there was a big breakthrough on image recognition, but it really took another decade to start to get to the point that we're at now. But we could all see that exponential, and I think we really wanted to really push it along and really steer it.
Now let me talk about NE, right? So I had an NE moment yesterday. I was driving over to Shan's live show, right? So as I'm driving over, and I noticed let me just show you a picture here. I noticed one of these deals here, right? So you've seen these driving around town, right? With the lines like this, and you're like, and so I just caught myself in an NE moment where I just started just that sensory, that SI experience, okay? That factual SI experience started to kick off all these possibilities. So the possibilities where I'm like, well, it's the lazy workers and they just threw it down. They went to lunch and they don't give a shit. Oh, that makes sense. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm sure that's a large percentage or a percentage of it. But I'm like, I kind of see this a lot. I'm just kind of puzzling around randomly as I'm driving. And I'm like, yeah, I wonder if they put them down and they haven't quite settled yet. So maybe the first couple of months the cars are driving over them and they're kind of shifting and settling. Like say they laid them down right where the paint lines were there and then it starts to move. Because I do guess that eventually they do really settle. Like what happened? Like this electricity is just going crazy everywhere. I'm just NEing all over the place, thinking about spider webs, thinking about fucking union workers, thinking about just Ninja Turtles, right? So NE is like, from what I can tell, like you have to ask the real NEs, they're kind of just doing shit like that all the time. Now, again, if they're more like any with the masculine NET or whatever, they might be, not every NE is going to be thinking about manholes or whatever, but it's something like that, where they're just like, and then it'll just collapse and go away. And then all of these like pattern pickups that then just fall back into the unconscious. And like, it's not like they're going to write a book about it. It's not like they're building their worldview off of manhole covers. Like that's more what NI does. They're just kind of collecting it there. And that's why if you like ask an NE or you show an NE like some weird stripes that go like this, they're like, oh yeah, that's like manhole covers. You're like, what do you mean my shirt looks like manhole covers? And they're like, I don't know. Just now that you mentioned it, it reminded me of. Like, okay, so what is, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I have TE, and that is what I do with TE. Like, I have so many unconscious spectrums of tools, especially, like yard tools, stuff like that, more construction tools, like not the technical tools, but like construction tools. I have a lot of TE with construction tools. But if I were to like have to TI write out what is the best tool, like, I don't know. But if I just walk up to a construction site, I'm like, all of a sudden, all that TE comes back to life and I start, going like this. Then it's been great talking to people with NESI in the middle, or anybody with those coins, and I'll run these theories by them, and they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh good, did I finally fucking get it, right? So this last clip here, let me just play this. One of the examples that he gives is they're like, yeah, we had old Larry in the corner, and he just wanted to work on some script to fuck with Amazon reviews or whatever. So we're like, yeah, whatever, go do your personal SI. We don't give a shit about that. But that's what then kicked off this idea.
We were working on language models that look very similar to what we do today, starting 2016. We had one person, Alec Radford, who was really excited about language, and he just was kind of working on building these little chatbots, and we really liked Alec, and so we were just very supportive of him, do whatever he wanted. And meanwhile, we were off investing in serious projects and stuff, and we were just whatever Alec needs, we'll make sure he gets. And 2017, we had a first really interesting result, which was that we had a model that was trained on Amazon reviews, and that it was just predicting the next character, just what letter comes next. And it actually learned a state-of-the-art sentiment analysis classifier. You could give it a sentence and it would say this is positive or negative. May not sound very impressive, but this was the moment where we kind of knew it was going to work.
Wow.
Right? So clear that you would transcended just syntax, where the commas go, and you'd move to semantics.
Right.
And so we just knew we had to push and push and push.
I mean, it always comes to Amazon reviews. Who knew that this is the real story behind it?
Exactly.
The
You
real
always
secret
start small.
information. So, the SI, the sensory, is starting the game, and then the NE is coming after that, backwards from NISE.